So what is up, everyone? Once again on this beautiful day. It is around 9 a.m. out here, and yeah, this is perfect. It's like 60 degrees out right now and the sun's shining, so we get some sun now. Anyways, oh wow, there's a hummingbird right there. Can you see that? Whoa. Huh, it's like checking me out. Maybe it has a nest or something. It went on the branch. Wow, that was cool. I've never had a hummingbird like come up to me like that. So anyways, this is why I like getting outside every now and then. Anyways, so today we're going to be talking about time does not exist. Now you might be thinking, okay, well, of course the time exists, or time exists. There's the sun right there. It comes out, goes around, and you know, it rises and it sets, right? But what I'm going to be talking about is not necessarily that cycles like what you're talking about when you have the sun come out, the sun go down. It's obviously nighttime, obviously there's daytime, things like this, right? But what I'm going to be talking about today is why time doesn't exist, because for one, we use symbols, which are numbers. I've talked about this in other videos. So that is representative of something that is natural, and you're using something like symbols, which is unnatural, right? So, but to clarify, yes, are there cycles and are there like chemical reactions that happen in the environment? Are microbes and bacteria moving? Is there movement? Yes, of course, there's changes, things come and go. Something that I wanted to talk about more specifically with this discussion about time not existing is I want to point out the fact that a lot of people think about time on a linear scale, like it's a timeline, right? Like time is, it started from the beginning, it's zero, and then it keeps going for, I guess, until allegedly the universe ends up not existing anymore and the sun runs out of whatever gas and all those other explanations and things that they have going on for the universe and whatever. That's a whole other topic, though. I can talk about that in a separate video. But there's no such thing as time, and I want to make this point clear that you can't go back in time, right? So right now is the same time as back when the Egyptians existed, which you're thinking to yourself, well, the peak of the Egyptian empire with like the pyramids and all that was in 3000 BC, right? Allegedly, I think is how the story goes, right? So that would be technically 5,000 years ago or whatever. But we live in the same time as them, and the reason why I say this is because time doesn't exist, right? Because we're in one moment always. So this one moment that we are in is the current moment, right? Like this is all of existence, right? And this one moment that we live in is the only moment. So think about time as, or like the existence of everything, like existing in, I don't know how to put this besides using the word time, because there is only a singular moment in which we live in, right? There's no other time that we live in. It's only this one moment. So a lot of what we're taught and the general perception of existence and like time and how this whole world is on like a timeline, right? That's like what I was talking about earlier, is it's on a line. And we started from existence until the end of time, right? Like it's on a line. But what I'm explaining to you guys is that there is no such thing as time, and that we actually exist in one moment. So this one moment is only one moment. It's only one period of time, right? Like it's only one event, and it's always this same time. And that's why I say that we exist in the same time as the Egyptians, the Romans. We will be still existing at the same moment or time as, you know, Terminator in the future, whatever, however you want to look at it like that. Whether that's going to happen or not, because the future also doesn't exist, right? There's only this one moment. So now, like I said earlier, there are changes and things can come and go. Bacteria moves. We have obviously cycles, right? Like the sun is up right now, and later tonight it will be setting and going away. So this doesn't mean that things aren't always changing. Like there are lots of things that are changing all the time, right? Like, you know, the grass is here, and once it goes through its cycle, it dies, right? The hummingbird is here and once it's cycle time, if you want to call it that, but once it's cycle of life, because that's how this reality operates and works, is it will eventually break down because of the chemical reactions and things like that, and the bacterial movements that we have all around us, to eventually lead to the life of some living organism ending, right? But even then, the matter of those beings or whatever still stays within the same system, which I guess is another video I could talk about, how like everything just like stays, right? It's always in a continuous state, which is why I guess it kind of reiterates why we're always in like one moment, right? Like this existence that we have is always just one existence, right? Like the matter of a living thing comes and it's a living thing, then it goes into the ground, the nutrients comes up through the plants, and then it starts, like, it's all through the life cycle, right? Like it's always one moment. But anyways, getting back more to the fact that time doesn't exist. So time doesn't exist. So when I was talking about earlier, time travel. So this is I feel like this is a good point. I don't know, maybe some people won't really understand this, but so a lot of people, like the general idea of time is that it's on a line, right? So if that is the case, then you know you can time travel basically, right? So you can go to the future and you can go to the past. But the reason why this doesn't make any sense is because, like I said earlier, we are living in one moment, so there's no way to just like go from this moment to like change into like the past, like, oh, I'm going back to medieval times, right? Like I'm going back to when the Black Plague was around so I can cure the Black Plague or whatever, right? But this idea of being able to do this, like the Back to the Future movie, things like this, which again, being indoctrinated through movies and media, right? That's usually how it goes with most of these ideas and like the worldview that we have. There's no way to do that. And when you try to sit here and just think logically, why would you be able to do that? That makes no sense. That when there was a time period, or there was a period when things were a certain way, and you right now in the future with some machine, you're going to be able to teleport and go back in time. Like, I don't know, when I think about like some of these ideas that like I've been told throughout my life and in the past, and obviously when I'm younger I'm more naive, right? And I wouldn't necessarily say I'm not entirely a naive person when it comes to certain things, but I think a lot of these ideas that we get put in our head, like the concept of time, if you just really break down a lot of your existence and the things around you, like life in general, a lot of the things that we're taught are just noise, for example, like in general, right? But logically it doesn't make any sense when you just kind of like really ground yourself in this reality and get back to the absolute truths and like the basics, basically, right? Because yeah, the concept of being able to, like, how would you're gonna move your existence into a different time period, but like time, like the reality isn't different, right? Like the time that we have in this moment is the same moment that's always been here, and it's always going to be here for infinity. Like, it's just because the world around you is different, like you're dressing more like Victorian era type, and you have like kings and queens and stuff like that, that doesn't mean that you aren't in the same moment or in the same reality. It's just that, like I said earlier, there's been changes and cycles that have changed the reality and the world around you. Like, we could still have kings and queens in Victorian era, Egyptians ruling the world, or, well, not ruling the world, but being like the biggest civilization back then, right? Like that could still be the same thing that's happening now, because it's the same moment in this reality, but things have changed, right? Like, people have moved and gone, come and gone, ideas have changed and things like this, right? So, and obviously the Egyptian civilization has collapsed from what it once was, and things have changed. There's been movements of people, religions spreading and different ideologies coming and going, right? So when you think about this, I mean, this is kind of like one of the bigger topics and one of the bigger things to like kind of wrap your head around. But it doesn't make sense that just because things are moving and there's like a cycle, right, that like things would be changing. But I think a lot of people kind of disagree with it because they also are getting like changes to themselves, like getting older. So they're like, it's like we're using the word changes and like cycles instead of using the word and replacing those with the word time. And it's like, it's almost like time is a constructed reality, right, for us, which makes sense, right, now that I'm thinking about it, because time, you have a clock and a watch and you're using that because you got to go to work, right, which is another form of enslavement to keep you in this cycle and like lock you more into the system, right, which I talked about this in another video. So that actually makes sense, that time is a reality that is used to mask over what actually is reality. So anyways, if you guys enjoyed this, I'm actually going to get into my next video now talking about age. So hope you guys are ready for that one, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.